All right, so I wanted to speak to people about gang stalking and your family. Now, when I say family, I'm talking about your mother, your father, brother, sister, husband, wife, daughter, son, cousins, nephews, uncles, the whole ball, right? A lot of people on here, they're tripping. They're saying, I'm being gang stalked, and I have family members who are being asked to gang stalk me. What does this mean? The people who are gang stalking you aren't all in the same boat. They're not all in the same category. Different people are approached in many different ways and asked to do the assignments and the details of the assignments in many different ways. So don't ever confuse two individuals as the same individual, are running for the same purpose. There's different types of stuff going on when you're being gang stalked. So there's areas I go to where I've been knowing people for years. Some of the people I'm blood related to, some of the people I'm step related to, some of the people I just consider myself related to because we've been knowing each other since we were little children. And usually I can get something out of them. I really want to push it. So one guy, he was telling me, he said, man, every time you show up, weird people start coming around and they're asking us to follow you and like make sure you're okay. There might be something psychologically wrong with you, and we got to wear red and have bright lights on our cars and all this stuff to make sure you're okay and stuff. So I'm like, okay, that's how they're doing it. And I'm sitting there, I'm talking to him, and the guy's an alcoholic. Not to disrespect him. So I give him $7, $8, and I said, well, look, man, I can help you get a drink. I don't encourage his drinking, but I want to help him, if he can help me. So he explained to me how the different people were coming in and bringing different people in to sell these assignments up and stuff, and it was really educational. And I learned from him that his perception of what he was doing was not harmful to me. He wasn't doing this as some sort of attack upon me. He was doing this because he wanted to make a few dollars. And he thought, for whatever reason, what the people asked him to do wasn't going to be harmful. So he didn't understand what gang stalking was, to begin with. He had never heard of it before. I don't even think I mentioned it to him. I just think I just got the information from him. There's about 3 or 4 people that I've been able to talk with this on a constant level. And so I said, I looked at him, I put him in a certain category. To this day, he'll still do assignments. $20, $30, that'll do a lot for somebody like him. There's other people out there, who may have a completely different intention for you. When I'm speaking about family members, I don't know people intimately, so I don't know what kind of people they were raised around. Their mother, their father, everybody's family is different, right? But and for the most part, so these are people I feel safe around. I know if anything happens, we're always going to be able to help each other in some sort of way to some degree, right? So moving on. Now, a lot of individuals will try to tell their family members that they're hearing voices. Thankfully, I've never had any experience with what you call God tech or voice to skull, but I know it's real. I know for a fact that's real. I've had a lot of people I've spoken to who are targets, and I watched the Jesse Ventura show. They had the guy on there who supposedly was a CIA man. This was on a television show. I can't confirm it, but it was on the TV show. And the guy said it was real. The voice of skull stuff was real. People were being tortured. So I'm pretty convinced this stuff's real. A lot of people will go to their family members and tell them, hey, I'm hearing voices. I'm being followed by all these people. Perhaps my food's been drugged. Perhaps I've had electronic weapons put upon me. What do? The family unit isn't going to be familiar. They're not going to be familiar with like Sidney Gottlieb, Dr. Delgado, all the research that came out publicly 40, 50 years ago that confirmed all this stuff to begin with. This stuff's already been confirmed over and over and over again. But most family units aren't going to be familiar with that. So they're going to refer you as a paranoid. They're going to say, you're paranoid, or are you on drugs? Or, what's happened to you? Are you crazy? It's public news that gang stalking has been going on. So your communication with the family is the biggest thing. They're not going to know the pressure you're going through. I've gone through some remarkable stuff. I had my own mother bring me home a pizza one time, and the pizza was drugged. Where she got the pizza from, it was networked, so when she brought the pizza to me, there was drugs in the pizza. I ate the pizza and felt the drug kick in. And I got angry, and me and her got in an argument, and she was telling me I was paranoid, and that was about the 5th time that I had been drugged. So she's trying to explain to me that I'm tripping and I'm delusional, but she doesn't know what I'm going through. She wasn't there from day one. Go through my experiences, so she has no clue what's happening. So I had to be patient. I had to be really patient and try to be calm. When you're around family members and things like this happening to you, you're gonna be agitated. You're gonna be pissed. You know, I'm not trying to make it seem derogatory, but that's just what it is. You're gonna be pissed because you're feeling attacked, right? And you want these people to know you're being attacked, and they're not able to look at that, so they're looking at you like you're something wrong, and it's a big ball of confusion. That being said, always keep note, keep record. If you can show them stuff on like your phone, or you can get somebody to admit to something going on, you can bring it to your family and maybe they'll see it from your point of view. Now, one of the things family members are going to do is they're going to pay attention to your behavior. They're going to be watching for signs of you tripping. They're going to be like, look, this person was acting like this, acting like that. But then on top of it, let me bring it back around. These are going to be the people who are going to be doing assignments on you most of the time anyway. So I was speaking from a perspective of people whose family had not did an assignment, right? So if your family are the ones doing the assignments, it's going to be explained to them in a certain way as to why it's happening, and they may be told to tell you that there's something wrong with you, yada, yada, yada. And so you may get in a situation where you might get in an argument with your family. There's people that just don't, this is actually broken family members apart from each other, you know? And what I would recommend to people is to bring some spirituality into it. I never put nothing above source energy. Source energy is number one. I never put no man, no woman, no nothing above source energy. Source energy is always number one, and we're all a different aspect of source energy. So whether you pray, you meditate, Jehovah, Allah, Buddha, if you're into, witchcraft, I don't know what people out there are into, but if you have a version of what source energy is, get with that first and get grounded in that spirituality. When you really get grounded in source energy, you'd be surprised the type of what the universe can do for you. It's remarkable. Approach your family from a spiritual perspective. It may take some time, but work with them. Get them to feel where your pain's coming from, and create a bond, and then slowly show them things, and then they'll open up to it, lighten up to it. Then the subject matter might come up, and they might be more open to it with you. A lot of it is explanation again. In your own home, the technology you use is used to surveillance you. This webcam can be used as a form of surveillance. The telephones can be used as a form of surveillance. Just talking around the phone, not even on the phone, is a form of surveillance because there's an audio input where you can speak around the phone, they can hear you. That smoke detector may be a form of surveillance. A lot of these smoke detectors got cameras in them. The corporations are the same corporations that create all this stuff are the same corporations behind the private security industry. Not to speak bad about the corporations, that's their job, right? But throughout society, there's a surveillance grid already in place that most people don't know about. And so there's little clues you can pick up on and notice how stuff works. I've been going through for almost 3 years. I picked up on a lot. And it's for the corporate world. We're talking about like the black projects, and that stuff is like 15 times, 20 times higher than what you're told society is doing. Whatever you're told the regular public life is and all this stuff, what they're doing is about 15, 20 times higher. So they know where everybody's at all times. They're watching people who are watching people who are doing it. It's so many different levels and functions to it, it'll blow your mind. So when you're in your home, or you're out and about on the street, you're being observed. If you're a target individual, you're being gang stalked. They can use camera systems coming from everywhere, the satellites. There's all different. So it sounds really paranoid, I know, but this is just how it works. So you start being mimicked, and you start thinking, "Am I crazy?" Or you're not crazy. You know what's happening, but then you're thinking, "Okay, am I catching the people doing gang stalking me or whatnot? Or are they all together working as a cult?" There's an overall eye that sees different levels of multiple different stuff going down, right? And what's going on is it's fractioned off into different places. So the homeless guy on the street, he's doing assignments. He's been approached by somebody to do the assignment. The person living with you at your house is doing an assignment. They've been approached in a certain sort of way. When you go outside, your neighbors may be doing an assignment. It could be coming in a certain way. When you go to your work, your boss could be doing an assignment. It could be coming in a different way. When you go out to the bar or the nightclubs, if you like to go out and enjoy yourself in that type of manner, it could be coming in through that. That's happening in a certain type of way. But this is not all together in one system. It's fractioned off and split off in multiple different levels. Technology does a great deal of it. A lot of this stuff happens automatically. I've noticed several times that the assignments are already written for the day. The themes of the assignments and things, even if you're not focused on them, they'll still be happening. Sometimes you'll catch stuff that you wouldn't have caught. And you're thinking, okay, did they know I was going to do that? Or was that already there? That was already going to be there. You're putting bread on the table. That's one of the powerful things about being targeted with gang stalking is there's money exchanging hands. Okay, there's people working. There's a lot of money exchanging hands. On target individuals are worth a lot of money. A lot of money. And so you're putting food on the table. So you're being watched and observed 24/7. It's like an animal it's like you're out in the Serengeti, the lion on the thing, and you got all these sophisticated people in helicopters and zoologists and all this stuff, and botanists and scientists and stuff like that. You're not paying attention, but they're there. So, again, breaking it back down where I was at. You get mimicked, all this stuff happens, and you're thinking, this is demons watching me, or it's paranormal and all this stuff, but the technology is there to do it. See what I'm saying? It's a whole security system. It's heavy. It's heavy. I would say it goes to people in outer space. I know this is going to be far off track for most people watching this video, but I don't think the people running it are on Earth. I think it's coming from, I think Earth's being observed, and it's all coming from, outside the Earth's atmosphere. But that's just my take on it. That's just my take. But in general, though, target individuals now, you're going to go out into the world, you're going to get mimicked, you're going to see the brightening, all this stuff. It's all set up and running on grids. There's a grid already there in place. So if I go to a certain library, the people arranging assignments, they're going to be watching me through the cameras at the libraries and trying to arrange different sorts of assignments and do different sorts of stuff and bring people in and bring people out and see how I react to it and double up on it and try to see if they can get a better reaction for it and all this stuff. One of the most powerful things is the technology is neutral. If somebody's observing you and creating these assignments for you, the best way to get into somebody and to mess them up, and that's what it's all about, is messing you up psychologically and spiritually. The manifestations are psychological, but spiritually, psychologically. I know it says is to get to the person in person. They got to get your connections with other people. What's your connection with the people you're close to? That's what they really want to get into, and technology can't do that. I'm not tripping off a phone call. I'm not tripping off a camera. That's not going to faze me. It's the people I interact with on a daily basis. When I started doing my courses, I would walk into a company and talk to people running the company and tell them what gang stalking was, and ask them if they had people there who were being gang stalked in their office if they needed assistance for it. And the people were very friendly. The people were extremely friendly, well-mannered, well thought out, and when I left, they respected me. And they might not have took me too seriously, but they they might not have took my offering seriously, but they took me seriously. They respected me, and it went a long way. But what I had to offer them, they might not have felt that it was needed at that time. But I learned a lot from talking to different people going through gang stalking. So that's one of the things, first, is family. Dealing with family, getting that down. And again, you're the only one that's going through gang stalking. If somebody's going to comment on what you're going through, they're not going through it, so they don't know. They don't have don't take, if you feel disrespected by somebody because they don't believe you or they're taking what you're going through lightly, they don't know because they're not going through it. If they go through it for a few days, they'll probably be far more hysterical than you. A lot of the emails I get and the communication I get is from people who just start going through it. and they seem very confused, very disconnected, very fractured. Gang stalking is really a trip. It's really amazing the type of stuff you'll go through. And I don't think anybody can feel that except for somebody who's gone through it. Now, going back to the spiritual power of creation, I look at it like, first of all, we're all on Earth for different purposes. I made a video where I was talking about DNA, extraterrestrial DNA within humans. That's a subject that I'm really big into. It might not fit the people who just need help. If you need help with gang stalking, this may not necessarily help you. If you don't, if you feel that there's something, it's not authentic, like extraterrestrial, what you're talking about. But human beings have extraterrestrial DNA within them. So I look at I feel as though, that's being certified by the gods. Like people say there's some evil group out there that's after me, that's trying to get me and do something, harm me or do something to me. I'm like, what evil group? They say, oh, the Illuminati or something. I said, get that out of your mind, man. Just by being born, you're certified by the gods. Stop looking for answers, coming from outside yourself, and stop putting projecting fear out there. That's how people own your fear. You allow people to own your fear. And when you allow them to own your fear, they can do anything they want with your fear. Don't allow anybody to own your fear. Don't allow anybody to have real estate in your consciousness. And approach it from a realistic perspective. Man, I tell people, go look at the pyramids under the oceans. Who do you think built those? Atlantis, Lemuria? That's coming from the gods, man. Certified by the gods every single day of my life. And so, just to recognize your own power and to meditate on it and to get that energy within you, it's really good. It's a whole nother experience, man. I try to take people back to the creation of humans, the Yeti, the Sasquatch being, that originated naturally after billions of years. This is the truth. Then there was a genetic interference where extraterrestrials came down, the mining and all that stuff. Everybody can look this stuff up on the internet. You talk about the Anunnaki, the Nephilim, the Elohim, all that stuff. But 7 different extraterrestrial groups, 13 different DNA bloodlines. Most of us are carrying, when I say 7 different groups, some of them were hybrids. But we got the 13 different lines flowing through stuff. So this is every day we're opening ourselves to new dimensions and new abilities and new portals. And being gang stalked doesn't mean you're any less than anybody else. And if you're not an intellectual, as society presents an intellectual, that doesn't mean you're any less intelligent. Look at a wolf. A wolf is extremely intelligent. A wolf will know things that I'll never know. It's all on how you use your intelligence. Don't let anybody make you feel inferior. If somebody's coming from a form of higher education or whatever, and you feel like, oh, this person has, their lexicon's bigger than mine, or I can't spell certain words or whatever, they use their intelligence differently than you use your intelligence. You have other abilities that they might not be able to access. You could probably learn something from each other if you sit down and talk. So, again, my whole goal has been to helping people to tap into their abilities and to get that power going and to be respectful and to be in harmony with yourself. See, it's not about an enemy outside force. You have to be in harmony. You can't put the blame on somebody else or put the blame on other people or other elements. That's being outside the harmony of the universal laws of creation. What you got to do is you got to be in respect, but you can acknowledge stuff. You can say, man, this person did this to me. This person did that to me. That person did that to me. You can acknowledge certain stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. But to sit there and dwell on it, that's an energetic exchange that's just not going to serve you. It's not going to help you. And assistance that you will get. Okay. Now this is again a little bit deeper than regular gang stalking, but when you were born, you had deals that you made before your incarnation to come across certain stuff. Now, when you end your physical incarnation, you go back into the spiritual world. You're going to spend more time. You may come back in right away, but on average, you spend more time in the spiritual world than you do in the physical world. The physical world isn't the real home. The spiritual world is the real home. I can die right now, go into the spiritual world, be there for 1,000 years, and then come back, incarnate back. You know what I mean? The spiritual world is the real home. So you don't know what type of spiritual entities you're connected with. And the spiritual entities run everything in the physical realm. That's number one. What goes on in the physical realm, what goes on in the spiritual realm comes directly into the physical realm. It's told from entity to entity to entity, then it drips its way back into the physical realm through certain people for various reasons. Every sector of society, everything, directly from the spiritual realm. Don't let anybody tell you anything different. A spirit can be alive for 50,000 years. A spirit can be alive for 1,000,000 years. You know how smart a spirit is? In the spiritual realm, the spirits see everything. So if you really want some answers, you better go to the spirits. And when the spirits talk, things happen. The spirits in North America, what you call the Americas, are very active right now. This is a lot of the spirits that used to be in ancient Atlantis are incarnating right now in the Americas. And so from the spirit world, everybody wants to jump in on this experience, and it's a real active time right now. If you can get in on Earth, you want to do it. Now going back to what I was saying about gang, I jumped off the top. Going back and saying about gang stalking. You know, you go out every day and do your best. Every single day, do your best. You know, when you get out there, man, I don't trip off it, man. I see somebody doing some assignments. I mean, that's their life. That's on them. What are they going to get? Some prepaid. What are they going to get? Some prepaid discounts, some Home Depot cards, some Staples cards, some Burger King cards. I'm in it to win it, man. I'm in it for real. I'm playing. You know, I play for big scores. I don't play for Burger King coupons. You know, if they want to do that, that's on them, man. But it's the spiritual stuff you want to. You know, you just keep getting this. I just got to stress to people, man. Keep it as real with yourself as you can. You know, if you can do that, you're all right. And don't ever let anything, you're not beat unless you say you're beat. You know, that's number one. You're not beat unless you say you're beat. And, but family, they'll figure it out. When they get gangs, this is another thing. Everybody's targeted to some degree or another. They just don't know it. But when they feel it, then it'll be real. Fire is not real to somebody until they get burnt. When they get burnt, then it becomes real. A lot of people are targeted, they don't see it yet. But if it comes into their life and they get burnt, then they'll know it's real. Pay attention to the people around you. Watch the type of stuff they go through. If somebody's targeting you, if you're related to them, I'm talking about your family members, they're being watched too. The people on the streets who are targeting you, they're all being watched. It might be a time where they get targeted. Who's to say? Who's to say? You know? It's all, you know, who's to say? There's people out there who can pick up a phone, you know, and put somebody in there right away. Or write somebody's name down and get them gang stalked and stuff. You know? And you can't be dependent on anybody. You don't know if they're going to be able to take you off. You know, you end up getting gang stalked. You don't know if it could be going on forever. You know, I wake up every day and I'm like, man, I've been getting gang stalked for almost 3 years. 3 of them. And, you know, I don't trip off it. But it's just like that movie, The Game, man. At the end of the movie with Michael Douglas, how the guy ended up on the roof. And, you know, he's there and all the people are out there and all this stuff. And it's like, is something like that going to happen? You know what I mean? Is it going to be some kind of crazy scenes like that? I don't know. You know, realize that own power. And the rate of people, I'm going to leave people this, like the rate of people that are getting gang stalked are going up. And I go on YouTube, and it's like amazing to me. Like, I remember, like, when I first started getting gang stalked, when I figured out what it was, I was looking on YouTube and I was looking at all the different names of the people, and now it's like triple that. I mean, more. It's like 5 times what it was. And the tripped out part is that's a small percentage of the people getting gang stalked. The people on YouTube saying they're being gang stalked, that's a very small percentage of the actual people being gang stalked. If everybody came online that was being gang stalked, that's all you. Oh my God, it'd be so crowded on there. There'd be so many people on there. I mean, we could start a political campaign. There'd be so many people on there. It'd be crazy. Imagine if 1 million people getting gang stalked all put up $1. That's $1 million. I better quit talking like that. But so bringing it back down to earth. You know, just keep a positive attitude, stay optimistic, be respectful, and try to reason with your family, and let that be that, you know.